Okay, everybody, welcome. I want to thank you all for taking time to be on the call with us tonight. We are so excited to have Kevin Sulcer on the line with us, and it is my privilege to introduce him. He's from Atlanta, Georgia. He's a second-generation national marketing director, and he and Brittany have 3 children, a daughter and twin boys. And after getting his degree in graphic design, he decided to join his mom full-time in the Juice Plus business. So he is an Ironman triathlete, he's a stand-up paddleboard racer, and a CrossFitter. It's so amazing to me. Kevin knows the ins and outs of our business and loves to encourage people to do the very best they can be, and just to be the very best they can be, health-wise and otherwise. So thank you so much for sharing your story and your expertise with us, Kevin.
Absolutely, Chris. And I really appreciate the fact that you guys have asked me to share my story. I love sharing my story. And, you know, I'm on a mission to inspire healthy living. And that's what we're going to try to do tonight. So I really appreciate all of you that are participating live for taking the time out of your busy Monday evening to join us. And I know that there's going to be some good information that you can go and share with others. So I'll go ahead and jump right into it. I think that we can all agree that we are a product of our environment, and whether it's good or bad. But luckily, I feel very blessed because I was brought up in the environment of wellness, and I say that because my father was an incredible athlete, all-star running back at Georgia Tech, and as far back as I can remember, we were in a position where we had a home gym. And I was always working out with my father, and he would get up and run 6 miles before, you know, breakfast every morning. Just a very active and fit individual. And I was gravitating towards that. Of course, he was my hero, and I was getting that chance to exercise with him and just wanted to follow in his footsteps. And on the flip side of the coin, my mother was a nutritional major at the University of Mississippi. And so she was forcing me to eat things I probably didn't agree with at the time. But in retrospect, I look back and I'm so grateful because it's just that she cared enough and knew enough to feed me the right things. And basically the right things were just whole food nutrition on a daily basis. And so not only just feeding me those things, but she was educating me on the importance of whole food nutrition and how it fueled my body. And I think that I was really paying more attention to the fact that it was fueling my performance in athletics, and which was fine because it got my attention and I ate whatever I needed to. And it really did give me an edge in whatever sport I was playing. So, you know, that was the environment I was brought up in. And I'm very blessed because I was educated on both aspects. And, you know, if there's one thing that you get from tonight's call, know this, that when we're working towards optimal health, and hopefully we're all on that same path, we're obviously on different journeys towards that, but we're all trying to get to optimal health. But there's a synergistic aspect. It's a synergy. It's a little bit of everything working together. So, you know, we're talking about exercise, diet, rest, hydration. All of those things play a part in optimal health. But, you know, so what I witnessed, unfortunately, as I was following in my dad's footsteps, is he never got what my mom was teaching. You know, he just was that type of individual. And I think that we all know somebody in our life that can eat whatever they want and they still look great. And we, you know, we may hate those people, but the truth of the matter is that fit does not mean healthy. And even though he had incredible metabolism, good genes, you know, as far as his physique goes and his physical ability, he just never connected the fact that what we put in our body does one of two things. And this is what my mom taught me very early on. I taught my kids this very early on, and they get it. And it's a very simple concept. And I think if we paid more attention to it, I think we would all be on a better road. Whatever we put in our bodies is doing one of two things. It either builds you up or breaks you down. And my dad never got that. He just thought that because he looked good and he was fit and you know, an athlete, that he could eat whatever he wanted. And so, going down that road, Chris, you know what you can do? You can mute all the lines.
Will
If
you
you go
still
to
be
the
able
bottom
to?
middle, it'll mute participants, and then I'll unmute myself. How about that?
Yeah, okay, I got it. I muted everybody, I thought.
Oh, okay. I didn't get muted, so it should say mute all.
New participants will be muted. Okay.
Okay, perfect. That's better. And so, it was one of those things where he felt that he could just eat anything he wanted, because he was physically fit and looked good and was, great at every sport that he was playing. And so the truth of the matter is he was just a ticking time bomb. It was what was going on at a cellular level in his body that he didn't recognize and really connect what diet had to play with his health. And so, unfortunately, over the course of time, following in his footsteps and idolizing his ability, physical ability that God had given him, that was slowly stripped away from him by one degenerative disease after another, and it just became a snowball effect. It started with arthritis. He developed lupus and had heart disease, suffered from a heart attack, and then unfortunately we lost him to cancer. And so what I saw is at the second half of his life, really, my mother had to become his caregiver, and all of those God-given talents and strengths and abilities he was given were stripped from him. And there's a ripple effect there because his identity was really in his physical ability. And so depression came on, and it was just that ripple effect that I mentioned. And so I became concerned, being the fact that I had never met his parents. His mom and dad had both passed away before I was born, both from one from heart disease and one from cancer. And so I started to get concerned and a little bit frightened in the fact that genetically maybe I'm next in line for these diseases. And the more I learned about it, the more encouraged I got, because what I learned was DNA is not our destiny, that it's the simple lifestyle daily choices that we're making that have the ability to turn off bad genes and turn good genes on. And so I really, along the way had a big mind shift, mindset change from performance and the way nutrition fueled my performance to the way nutrition related to prevention. And what I was encouraged by was I was not only turning off the bad genes for myself individually, but for generations to come. And I love the fact that up until me, my last name, Sulzer, was known for disease and illness. It really was. And, but I have the power just through my daily choices to say the buck stops here. And from this generation forward, the last name Sulzer will be known for health. And isn't that amazing that we have that choice and ability to leave a legacy like that? And I love it that all three of my kids already understand the power of nutrition and the synergy that I talked about with exercise and hydration and rest, and that we feel better, that we play better, that we look better, and what I like to say is there's too many people out there just simply surviving. And what we're about is thriving. That's what God created us to do. And, we can't really fulfill his purpose truly unless we have good health. That's a big distraction. And so when I had that mindset, I never gave up on performance. As you heard Chris say, I love athletics. I love sports. I'm an endurance athlete. They say that, often I've heard it said that endurance athletes are running from something. And for the most part, we all are. But I like to think that I'm running from mediocrity. I just want to fulfill my purpose and not be mediocre and challenge myself every day and just continue to grow. And it's amazing. We are all wonderfully and beautifully made. God has given us so much ability that we rarely tap into. And I've been blessed with the health to really realize these things. Finishing a full Ironman was just a dream come true to me. It was something that my father and I used to watch the Ironman championships every year on TV together. And it was just, such an incredible feat that these individuals were accomplishing 140 miles in one day, in less than 14 hours. And to think that I was able to accomplish that myself, right there at 12 hours, is amazing. And now I continue to really just challenge myself in different ways. I know Chris mentioned that I'm a stand-up paddleboard endurance racer, and yes, there is such a thing. But for 3 years, I've been blessed to participate in a race that takes place in Chattanooga called the Chattajack, and that race is 32 miles down the Tennessee River. All stand up, not didn't stop, never stopping. It takes about 6 hours, and it's it takes a toll. But I really feel like I've had an advantage, and it's simply because of my diet. Yes, I've put in the hard work and I've put in the exercise, but the advantage that I've always had in all of these endurance, races, has really been the way I've fueled my body. And I don't just fuel it, I protect it, and I've used my nutrition and my diet to recover. And that's given me a big advantage, as the recovery is so much quicker than those around me that I may be training with that don't really understand the value of whole food nutrition. And the simplicity is that God has given us everything that our bodies need to heal, repair, and to thrive, like I talked about earlier. And the problem comes that we're just falling short of getting that recommended amount on a daily basis. So the government, the American Stroke Association, the American Cancer Society, have all recommended that we consume between 9 to 13 servings of raw, fresh fruits and vegetables on a daily basis. And a serving size, keep in mind, is about the size of your fist. For an athlete like myself, the recommended amount would be about 16 to 18 servings per day. And a lot of people overlook the idea of the diversity there. It's got to be the full spectrum of the rainbow. The color variation is the power of the micronutrient, that plant-based nutrition. And so, 16 to 18 servings, I told my wife one time, I said, if I was really sticking to that and achieving that on a daily basis, I would have no time to train because I'd be eating all day. And so even making a conscious effort as an athlete, I fall short of the recommended 9 to 13 servings. It's just really difficult to do. I don't want to say it's impossible, but I have yet to meet somebody that's really sticking with that on a daily basis. And the reason that's recommended is to put us at a lower risk level of disease. It's that simple. They've spent billions of our tax dollars to try to find the cure for heart disease and cancer and other degenerative diseases. And their conclusion was that it's easier to prevent than to cure. And, I've also read articles and heard it said that 75% of most degenerative diseases can be prevented just simply through those lifestyle changes. Number one being diet. And so that's really what I want to talk about, because I knew that I was falling short of that recommended amount. And I knew that there needed to be some kind of bridge between what I was eating and what I should be eating every single day. And the problem comes into, there's so many conflicting opinions, there's so many options, and who do you believe, who do you trust? And so I found out two aspects that were critical to supplementation. Number one, it has to have solid scientific evidence. Without the research, it's just a shot in the dark, and we're not really positive if it's doing anything for our bodies. And so there has to be really a good substantial scientific evidence base on whatever it is that I'm bridging that gap with. Number two, it needs to be whole food based. What I've come to find out is we're not vitamin deficient, we're whole food deficient. And so it just makes sense to me that instead of fragmented, isolated, man-made vitamins, our bodies need more whole food nutrition. And so whole food-based supplementation is really the key aspect to bridging that gap. And, the more I find out about vitamins and supplements, the more research that comes out, we're finding out that actually a lot of them are doing more harm than good, because our bodies really don't know how to process those high doses of that isolated vitamin or mineral. And it can be dangerous. In fact, I spoke with a woman this morning, and she was talking about how she had given her child some vitamins that earlier that morning, and her child looked up at her and said, "These vitamins make me feel sick." And so that should be a red flag. Another instance is I was at a friend's house, and they had some the Flintstones vitamins, which is my generation grew up on Flintstone vitamins. And this was a single dad trying, had good intentions, doing the best he could. But, when I saw those on the counter, I picked them up and I turned the bottle around and I showed my friend and I said, "Tell me the first words that you see on the back of this bottle." And he looked down and he said, "Keep out of reach of children." And I just looked him square in the eye and I said, "Should that be a red flag that you're giving this to your daughter?" And I said, "Keep reading." And underneath it, it said, "Call poison control if they take too many." And so we've got to be more careful about how we're bridging that gap, because research is showing us that it may not be a good path to go down with vitamins and supplements. And so, like I said, it has to be whole food based. That's the only thing that makes sense, because that's what we're lacking. And that leads me to what I have found and what I've been taking for the past 26 years, and has made such a difference in my health, not just bridging that gap, but it's been a catalyst to a healthier lifestyle to truly achieve optimal health. And that is the product Juice Plus. And two reasons I stand on Juice Plus and recommend it to everyone that I care about and I come in contact with is it checked the two boxes that I mentioned earlier. It has more scientific evidence than any other nutritional product in the entire world. We have about 40 plus gold standard published journals that have proven that Juice Plus is beneficial on every level of human health. From skin health to gum health to heart health, reducing DNA damage. The list goes on. And actually, there's nothing with or without a prescription anywhere in the world that has proven to do what Juice Plus has proven to do. And it makes sense to me. I think the simplicity is the power, because it's just simply whole food nutrition. And that's the second box. It actually has a food label, a nutrition fact label that puts it in a food category. All the other products out there have a supplement fact label, and that puts them in a vitamin category. Juice Plus is not a vitamin. We're not vitamin deficient. We're whole food deficient. And so Juice Plus absolutely made sense to me, because it had the research, the scientific evidence, and then it is actually a whole food base. It's whole food nutrition. And what you see on the back of the label is what you're getting. Kale, broccoli, beets, parsley, pineapple, oranges. I mean, these are the things that my body craves on a daily basis. And so that's why I believe so strongly that everyone deserves to know that Juice Plus is available. There is a solution to bridge that gap. And that's what sets Juice Plus apart from everything else out there. And I also love the fact that my children can actually participate in a wonderful program that this company has offered, called the Healthy Starts for Families program. And it enables any child between age 4 all the way through college to receive free Juice Plus for up to 4 years, if the adult sponsor can adult participant sponsors one child, and then that child gets it for free for the next 4 years. And it's an incredible way that a whole family can get on Juice Plus for half the cost and just get healthy together. More importantly, what we're finding are these children are missing less school. They're having less doctor visits. They're eating a wider variety of fruits and vegetables. I think that's the objective. That's something called metabolic programming, and it's very, very real. It just simply means that what we put in our bodies on a daily basis, our bodies crave on a daily basis. Unfortunately, we've programmed most of us, in the wrong way, with sugar and bad fats and too much sodium, these things that our bodies crave. But the good news is that no matter what age, where you are in your health journey, it's never too late to reprogram, your body. That metabolic programming takes a little discipline, But after a few short days of cutting out those bad things and putting in the good things, you can absolutely reprogram your body. And that's what we're seeing with these children, and including the adults that are taking Juice Plus, is their body starts craving the ingredients in Juice Plus. We're talking about 30 diverse fresh raw fruits and fruits, vegetables, and berries every single day, being that solid foundation of nutrition, no matter what your circumstance. And, I will be the first to tell you, I do not eat perfectly every day. I probably eat better than the average person simply because of my athletic ability and my the races I'm training for. But I still fall short, and I still, I like to say I eat the 80-20 rule. And that just means that I eat really good 80% of the time. And then 20% of the time I can kind of have some fun with it and have some treats. But the problem is our society is so flipped, and we're doing 80% bad and maybe 20% good. And so, for me, I turned 45 last year. I'll be 46 this year. I really truly feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And I say that every year, and it's so exciting because age is truly a number. And, with age, we do have a little slope in our metabolism, which just simply means we got to be more intentional about what we eat, and we have to raise the intensity of our exercise. And so where I see a lot of my friends kind of throwing in the towel, I'm just taking it to the next level. And through that, I've seen, a lot of individuals be inspired just by the way I live my life. And that's really the mission I'm on. And Juice Plus has given me an incredible platform to do that, to be on that mission of inspiring healthy living, to have a solution for a lot of people that I run into, to have something to bridge that gap between what they're eating and what they should be eating. The company has another product that's very complementary to the Juice Plus. And by the way, the Juice Plus comes in a capsule or a chewable form, and adults could take either. My kids love the chewables. I take the capsules, but every day we know we're getting the nutrition of those 30 diverse fresh raw fruits and vegetables. But this complementary product is called the Juice Plus Complete. And this has really changed, my life in sports, because I found it as an incredible post-workout recovery drink for myself, but it's extremely versatile because my wife uses it as breakfast. It could be a meal replacement. It could be a between meal snack, post-workout, pre-workout. It's incredible nutrition. And I like to think of it as the macros. We've got the micronutrition with the capsules and the chewables, and then Juice Plus Complete, which is a shake mix in vanilla and chocolate, really gives us the macros as 25 superfoods combined with a solid plant protein. So it's 100% plant-based, non-GMO, vegan, and 13 grams of protein, which is plenty for your body to process. But combined with those other 25 superfoods like spirulina and broccoli powder, just play a part in that recovery and that fuel. That I used it in my Ironman training. I used it in my Ironman transitions during my race, and it was a game changer. It was just bouncing back so quickly and fueled that it made such a difference. And so, that's something I recommend everyone to look into as well. That you get that solid foundation of those micronutrients, and then you complement it with that low glycemic aspect of Juice Plus Complete. And I mentioned low glycemic because that's what curbs our appetite. That's where the problem really comes in, is between meals, where we're prone to snack and on junk food. And, that low glycemic level balances out and levels out our blood sugar to where we don't have those cravings. There's not those spikes at the end of the day or during meals. And so that makes a big difference. And so, one thing I want to mention is that I felt very responsible after feeling the effects and having, the solution of Juice Plus in my system every day. Possible. I simply just wanted people. I also didn't want anybody to go down the road that I watched my father go down, and so many loved ones around me that were taken from degenerative disease. I just lost my my brother-in-law about a month ago, and he was the same age as me and passed away from cancer. He actually had a cardiac arrest in the hospital. But I also know that he had a very poor diet and a high stress lifestyle. I lost two other friends last year at age, 43, 44, that both of these individuals passed away from heart attacks. They were not obese. They had poor diets and high stress lifestyle. They left young children behind and a widow. And so when I think about it, I would love to get into every single one of the research behind Juice Plus, because I know that you would be, you would just be as impressed as I am. But I encourage you to get with the person that shared this with you, and ask them for their website that can show you the clinical research behind Juice Plus. I know you'll be impressed, but I do want to share one study, because this study is so powerful, and it really hits home, considering I've lost several, friends my age to heart attacks. And it's the cardiovascular study that was done in the American Journal the American Journal of College of Cardiology. That's tough to say, but this study followed 3 subject groups and studied the vascular constriction after a high-fat meal. And what they found was they subjected them to a high-fat meal, and what happens after the high-fat meal is you have vascular constriction. Your arteries close up, and you can't get the sufficient amount of blood flow through, and you're susceptible to a heart attack or a stroke. Well, they had 3 groups, 1 placebo, 1 on the fruit and vegetable blend of Juice Plus. The third one had the fruit, vegetable, and then added the vineyard blend, which is just the berry blend. And they subjected them to a very high-fat meal, and then right away measured that constriction. The placebo group was exactly as they expected, high constriction. The second group with the fruit and vegetable Juice Plus, there was 66% reduction of constriction. I mean, that is a life-saving percentage. The group that took the fruit, vegetable, and just simply added the berry blend, it was a 98% reduction of constriction, basically blunting the constriction altogether. And so I cannot help but think that what if my friends, my brother-in-law, had the advantage and blessing that I have had of having Juice Plus as that foundation every single day. And I really don't have to say what if, because the science says it all. The science says that those children would have a father, and that wife would have a husband, and that I would have my friends back. And so that leads me to the idea that I have a responsibility and a mission to go out there and make sure that everybody knows there is a solution like Juice Plus with the solid scientific evidence that is whole food based, and that it's a game changer when they look at the scientific evidence there. And so I'm on a mission. I have been for over 15 years of trying to get the word out there. We're always looking for more people to join our mission, because we realize that we can impact the people around us. But what we're doing is creating an army of wellness warriors that are going out there and sharing this message of health and sharing the solution of Juice Plus, and we're making such a greater impact. And so we truly are inspiring healthy living around the world. And so, I really encourage you to get with the person that shared this with you. Find out more about Juice Plus. Find out how it's made. The quality of it is hands down the best I've ever seen. In fact, I would go as far as to say I think it's better than organic. It's NSF certified, meaning that it's carefully tested from the soil to the capsule to ensure that there's absolutely zero adulteration to the product. No pesticides, herbicides, anything like that. I will say that the more I learn about certified organic labels, they're actually allowed a certain percentage of pesticides and herbicides in their end result product. The end result of Juice Plus has 0. And so that's very important. NSF is the highest quality control certification that you can possibly get. And so that ensures me that the quality control is hands down the best out there. And so, get with the person, learn more about how it's made, learn more about what it's doing, look at the clinical research. And, I encourage you to get it started for you and your family. And I bet that once you understand the power behind Juice Plus, you're going to want to share it with others as well. So I just appreciate your time tonight, and let me share my story with you guys. And God bless every single one of you.
Wow, Kevin, thank you so much for sharing and highlighting just your experience with nutrition and how it's helped you so much. And I really appreciate your highlighting that study in that journal, the American
Yes.
College, whatever it is. But thank you so much. It was really, really good. And I really do encourage you all to get with the person who invited you and just find out more and find out how you can be part of all this. Kevin, your story is very inspiring. And again, we thank you all for taking time to listen, and you all have a great evening, okay? Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. I'll let you say thank you.